And that's what I said about Mesopotamia, okay? That all of that shit is embellishment, okay? Now let me go on back over here to these temples. Let me go on back over here so we can work out. So, not one of the so-called wonders from Greece has ever been seen. So they're going to make you think that the Greeks was in here compiling and cataloging scrolls and shit. You understand? Nah, this is the see, can't get no Medu now. The Africans is not giving them no, and so it's time they know if the Africans is not going to give them the knowledge. Egypt at this time, even at 392, is still the spiritual capital of the world. Okay? It's still the spiritual capital of the world. Peoples are still coming from all around the world to go. And the Romans know that even though they didn't conquer Egypt, unless they break the spiritual connection to the world, until they break that, the Romans will never have control. You understand? The African still is ruling through righteousness and spirituality. So they say, well, if we cannot get the knowledge, we got to break the backs of the priesthood. And so Theodosius in 392 passes an edict to close all the Egyptian temples. And with that, he also supposedly closed the Greek so-called mysteries, which they didn't have none. Okay, that's just a lie. Okay, so at that point, then the priesthood went underground. It went underground. It has been underground. You understand? It might have came up once or twice. You understand what I'm saying? Since 392, but it was for a small period. When the Arabs came in, it went back underground. Okay, and it's underground right now. So this is key. And this is key to show you how the Romans and the Greek, and people say, they didn't get a goddamn thing out of Egypt, the Greek nor the Roman. Okay, because see, they closed the temples in 392, okay, AD, Theodosius. And at this time, the capital of the Roman Empire is in Constantinople. It's not in Rome, okay? Rome is a washed up village at this time, okay? No, the Romans themselves, Constantine already knew that, it wasn't nothing jumping off. He had to go to Constantinople, which is today Istanbul, and made it his capital because it was a interlocking area of the world which controlled a lot of, a lot of exports and imports, a lot of trade, and so it was a central area, and so Rome didn't have that kind of power. And so from that point on, when you're talking about the Roman Empire, you got to understand it was the Eastern Empire and the Western Empire. The majority of the Roman Empire was in the West, was in Byzantium. They call it's still Rome, but it's the Byzantine Empire is the Western branch of the Roman Empire. And from, I think around 330, right around, it was like 322, something like that, where AD, 322 AD, where Constantine moved the capital to Constantinople, which is modern day Istanbul. Okay, and so that's they setup. So, but when you talking about Rome City and Greece, see that when they closed the Egyptian temple, when they tried to cut Egypt and cut the throat of Egypt, it closed Rome. It closed Greece. That show you that they was feeding off of Egypt all along. What they call the Dark Ages started with the fall of Rome, which is around 500 which is about around 476. So they closed the temple in 392. And so at 476, the fall of Rome, it wasn't but 100 years after that. They had killed their golden goose. They didn't get a goddamn thing out. And so they knew it was time to move on at that point. And so they went to Constantinople. They set up a new operation, and Greece and Rome fell. You understand what I'm saying? Greece and Rome fell with the closing of the Egyptian temples. So the fall of Rome, the traditional date for the end of the end, is the year 47, what I'm talking about, 476, when a Germanic chief, Odoacer, overthrew the last Roman emperors of the western half of the empire. Okay, so the eastern half was the Byzantium. I might have said West, but the eastern half was Byzantium, ruled by Constantinople, and the western half was ruled by Rome. So when they closed the temples of ancient Egypt, that cut the Mediterranean off from its mama. They cut the Mediterranean off from its mama that gave it life, which was the Nile Valley. And they ass went into a dark age, okay, which lasted longer than what they're trying to say. They say the Dark Ages, the period in Western Europe between the fall of the Roman Empire and High Middle Ages, 500 to 1100 AD, which is untrue. That shit went on longer than that because they had the goddamn black, which is the white death, not black death. It's white death because wasn't no black people dying. It was all white people. That shit was 1340 peaking from 1347 to 1351. I'll read that too. Okay. The Black Death, also known as the Great Plague, the Black Plague, again, the White Plague, or simply the plague, was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 75 to 200 million people. That's how filthy they were. The Black Death was the first major European outbreak of the second plague pandemic. You see that pandemic? You see that pan in front of the pandemic? That lets you know what's going down. The plague created a series of religious, social, and economic upheavals which had a profound effect on the course of European history. So how the hell did how the hell you have institutions? How the hell you have institution and all of that? And when they closed the Egyptian temple, y'all went into the Dark Ages and did not come out of them until the creating of the printing press, and still you couldn't get it off the ground for 200-300 years more because you had to take that time to educate the European populace into an alphabet, and then bring in, you got to mass produce the literature, but you got to have a populace that's able to understand what the hell you printing. You can't print up a whole lot of books if the people ignorant. So they had to spend a couple hundred years just getting the populace of Europe even to know what an alphabet, and then get them to understand words and shit, and this, that, and the third. So you talking about the white people did not get institution until 1800s. For the first time did they ever have institution, mass production of books. That came with Gutenberg, not before. I'm breaking this shit down for y'all. They had no mass production of literature in the ancient world, okay, at all. Not under Greece, not under goddamn Rome. Now I'm gonna go off into Byzantium. I'm gonna go off into Byzantium and see what they got. I'm gonna see what they got. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see what they got, but it ain't much, because at this point in time, you out to fight. Because you talking about, you talking about into the AD period. You talking about 1400 is when businesses. So, y'all motherfuckers still didn't have the printing press. Y'all still had an ignorant populace. Okay, so these is facts. These is facts. These is motherfucking facts that the European did not have institution, universities, educational system on no level until damn near the 1800s. I'm just going to be real with you. Until the 1800s, do you see it on the level that you see today? Starting to, be on an institutionalized level. So Africans was institutionalized 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 BC. So, I mean, and be even older than that. They is ashamed to tell the world how far behind Africa, and not just them, everybody else. Everybody else is just as much behind the African as the European. Let me get some water, y'all. Let me get some water, and I'm gonna bring it to the end. Let me bring it to the end. Y'all getting that work today. Getting that work. Getting that work. Getting that work. Y'all ain't give me this time so I can, put it down like I need to. Okay, I'm gonna go over this again. The Black Death, I need to go over that. No, I already did that. So what we're gonna do right now, is to go over these temples. Just so you can see. You done been bluffed. Talking about Pythagoras and Socrates and all of this. Okay? Here you got the temple of Zeus. Now these is the best of their temples. I didn't go get no anything. I looked it up. And I took it straight from them. I'm that kind of person. I'm not going to shortchange your own shit. Bring your best. I don't want nobody to come back and say, oh, said he didn't put the motherfucker, I put the best they had up there. Okay? Now, they say this was built in the 6th century BC. How they prove that, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? But you can see that, and I can show you that that's an Egyptian style. So whoever the architects was, 9 times out of 10, they were African. Okay? You see here, I'm going to show you, this is what they got left. Now, I'm talking about this the best. I got more, but this was one of the best that they had on the damn list. You see? And so they didn't know, like you got to, and this is, I don't know exactly where in Greece, but this is the temple of Olympian Zeus. And it's supposedly built around the 6th century, but they didn't finish the motherfucker until the 2nd century. How the fuck it gonna take you that goddamn long to complete one goddamn temple? Goddamn Africans then built damn near 20, 30 fucking pyramids in that time that's still standing 3,000 years before this one was built, and it take them damn to the 6th century BC. Goddamn, it took y'all motherfucker damn near 600, not even 800 goddamn years. If you started in the 6th century BC and you finished in the 2nd, it took, and the motherfucker still ain't standing. That you mean to tell me you didn't put all, let me go ahead. This is the temple of Poseidon. Look at this, 440 BC, 440 BC. How they know this, I don't know. They don't have no manuscripts. Again, they don't have no manuscripts. So how are they, how do they get a chronology if you don't have no original manuscript to prove this? Where are they getting this from? Because the people that they are not primary fucking references. And I'm going to go over that again before I leave out. Okay? And so they don't have no water.